traveling fighters brought together by a common destiny now meet at the Battle Arena Toshinden. Many years have passed since this tournament, known only to those in the underworld, was last held. Some fighters have come for personal glory. Others have come to fight for those they love. But all will do their best to be victorious in this tournament, which will decide their fortunes.
Hey everyone, welcome back with Beano Mac. Today we're going to do a playthrough of Battle Arena Toshinden for Fighting Friday, of course. And we're going to play as my main man, Kayin here. And you might notice this game is pretty dated. It is pretty much like a nostalgia trip for me here. I still have fun with it. Obviously I wouldn't play it if I didn't otherwise, but yeah, it's definitely a very, very dated game. It's not something that I would recommend to anybody in the modern day. It's very slow, the frame rate drops at random points, and the biggest issue, if you, like right there, I just missed a fireball, I just missed it again, then I just did miss another one. It's not me entirely, I don't think, because you know I can pull off fighting game combos and special moves in just about any other game pretty fine. You know, maybe in like the Tekken games, if I'm trying to do like a 10-hit combo or something, I might mess up, or you know, a combination requires, you know, like 3 button presses at the same time or something like that in Tekken. So a lot of time when I play as King, you know, I might mess up my move combos or something like that. But with this game, the moves are pretty simple. Like the fireball, it's the same as how you would do a Hadouken in Street Fighter. They took a lot of that with these characters. You know, the deadly raise for Kayin, it's pretty much like the uppercut that Ryu and Ken would use, same input. And then, you know, the same input for his spin kick. It's the same as like their spin kick, you know, in Street Fighter. So they actually took all the same inputs. I'm doing them pretty much to a T. It's just, I don't know, the game is not very good at registering inputs correctly. So hopefully, you know, you're going to see a lot of goofiness in this. And it's definitely an aged fighting game, but there's a lot I love about this series. You know, the characters in the first one I like a lot. You know, Kayin is a pretty cool guy. You know, he's got an adoptive kid, despite being a little bit of a rogue. Eiji is kind of like the, you know, the generic good guy, you know, protagonist at the time you would see. You know, obviously he has similar moves to Ryu, and his whole story is he's trying to find his brother Sho. Ooh, that was smooth. I love the ring out in this series too. Then of course we got Foe here that we're fighting right now. His whole thing is he's over 100 years old, and he's just he's a magician. He loves to perform for kids, but he also takes joy in killing young fighters and stuff like that. Just, I don't know, because he's old and cranky. So he's, you know, a good guy persona during the day, but at nighttime a ruthless murderer. And then you got Rungo, who I think it was his daughter was kidnapped, or maybe it was his whole family. It's been a while since I've played these games and done all their stories, but he's like the big brute. He doesn't really have a fighting style. He's just a really strong miner that fights with a huge club. And obviously the gimmick of this series that sets it apart is that everybody uses fight. You know, they fight with swords and weapons and stuff like that. And believe it or not, this was before Soul Calibur ever did that. So they were the originators of the fighting with weapons 3D game, and they were the originators of the ring out for the 3D game, I believe. Unfortunately, it's just, you know, the first one especially is just very dated. Sad to say, but once again, I love to play it. The characters I think are pretty great. They all connect into each other, so it's not all just, you know, solo motivations. I think they did a really good job with that. That's something that a lot of fighting games aren't always the best at nowadays. So the story is pretty solid for what it is, you know, that they're... And I think the best part of this whole series for me is the soundtrack, especially in the first game, man. I mean, good lord, it is beautiful. I love the dodge mechanic too. Plus they got the block, which is the classic fighting game, you know, hold down, you know, back and stuff like that. And I love the variety of fighters here, you know. I mean, honestly, Kayin and Eiji are pretty similar, but they have like a few moves to set them apart, which is obviously why I prefer Kayin. I love his spin kick and stuff. Come on, get out of here. Oh yeah, we got him. Ring out is so awesome in this game, although it can backfire on you too. But the characters, you know, Mondo, we're fighting right now. He's just a member of like the secret organization that's holding this tournament. He's like the representative and stuff like that. And you know, he's very unique and distinct because he's just a very long range fighter. He can get you like halfway across the fucking screen, which is why I'm trying to fight him all the way behind me. You know, go all the way back, trying to separate our distance. Duke is kind of cool, but he's probably by far the worst fighter. Like, if you can win with Duke, you're definitely very good at this game. I give you all the credit in the world. We were able to just kind of cream him essentially because he does not have any fireballs. You know, he's you know, very chivalrous knight. You know, he's the first guy we fought. Coolest design too, and the best theme, probably the best arena too. So it sucks that he's just kind of not very good in this game. It can be easily taken advantage of, but even when it's not his, you know, he doesn't have any fireballs, and even that doesn't hold him back. It's also the fact that, you know, you've seen it when he was doing his charge attack, he leaves himself open. His hit ground attack, he leaves himself open. So he's not a very viable fighter. Also, you'll notice this game is very cheap with the AI. That's just how fighting games are. Interestingly enough, it's not, I don't think this was ever an arcade game. But it still acts like it is, because, you know, you may have noticed, like, fighters, they can do, like, their uppercut. Eiji, for example, he can just pull that shit out of nowhere, right in front of my fucking face. If I do it, you know, the player, you know, there's, like, that weight. You know how he slid across the screen, Eiji just did now? Yeah, I have to do that every time. It doesn't matter how close I am to them. And, because of that, the CPU always has the chance to pretty much hit me with a counterattack. No questions asked, so that's why you're not going to see many deadly raises here. And this is a close one here. Eiji and Kayin are definitely... Holy shit! Another thing that is crazy about this game is it seems like the damage you do is just kind of random at times. Like, sometimes you'll do a hit and it'll be big damage, other times you'll do a hit and it'll just kind of be minimal. It doesn't really make sense to me. But I am playing on hard, so that's going to be a little more difficult for me here. Gotta want to conquer this game fully. There we go, we're starting. It's pretty much, you know, for the higher difficulties, it's pretty much just wait and see, you know, wait for your opponent to make a mistake, and I guess that's kind of like all fighting games when you really think about it. And they're aggressive this game, but not as aggressive as you would think. Eiji stage is another really awesome stage. I always wonder how they get it, like, how they got out here into the center of the platform. But really, it's just a game of patience with this game. Ooh, wow, I did not realize how close I was to the edge just now. And yes, you can both fall off the edge. You can even run off the edge if you're not careful. Hopefully I won't demonstrate that to you in this video though. And another cool thing is that all fighters too have different outfits. A lot of it's just kind of palette color swaps, but you know, like you would expect in fighting games, but you know, some of them change it up a little bit with the textures, you know. Eiji's second outfit, you know, he doesn't wear any shoes. Holy shit, that was his desperation attack, by the way. Whereas, you know, if you get hit with that, you know, and you're not over half your health is gone already, you know, if you get hit with a desperation attack, you're dead. And you can only do it when your meter's blinking like it is for us now. And he is spamming the fuck out of it too. So that's what they do on the higher difficulties. They do not fuck around, I can promise you that. Man, again. But the good news is when he does do that, he leaves himself open wide. So like I said, just all a game of patience. But there is a lot in this game that really does set it apart. It's just mechanically it did not didn't perform its functions very well. But like if they made like a remake of this, you know, well I guess I shouldn't say that because you know fighting games are just it's such a different beast nowadays. You know, with the competitive scenes, and that's such an important part of a fighting games that you know they couldn't just remake this and you know it'd be the kind of the same thing. But I don't really think a lot. Like I said, this is kind of like, this was a big deal, the first game especially when it first came out, because it was like, I think 1994, I think it was like the first fighting game to come out on the PlayStation 4, and it had a lot of hype from Sony, and it maybe even came out like one of the first games on the whole console, I can't remember. Like this was even included in their PlayStation Classic series. But unfortunately, it's just a little too dated, like I said. But like I said, I mean, there's not a lot of people that really want this to come back. It is a forgotten series, but it definitely had a lot of charm to it, in my opinion. A lot of things that set it apart from other fighting games, while taking some stuff from others. Now we got Sophia, who I believe her story is that she's, got amnesia. But maybe I'm thinking of Nina from Tekken, I can't remember. But I think she had like amnesia or something like that, and she entered the tournament to try and figure out who she was. And I don't think she ever did, but yeah, I mean, it's just part of her story. Also, this is a pretty cool stage too. It looks a lot better too with the up-res textures and stuff. The characters especially do. The stages though, for whatever reason, like I said, I mean, I think that, I don't know if this is a rush game per se. Maybe it was, because it had a lot of hype of being, one of the first PlayStation fighters and stuff like that. But like even just, some stages there's just missing textures completely, or the textures are just like one solid color for some reason, and Ring Out especially. But this one's a really cool one. It's like a cave, but I don't really know what the hell it is really. But that's probably once again just due to the weird, terrible graphics. Thundering. Love those freaking sound bites too. And by the way, I described pretty much almost everybody else's motivation. Kayin's motivation, the whole reason we're playing as this guy, is him and Eiji, they trained together. They were trained by Eiji's brother Sho. Then eventually Sho disappeared, and Eiji went looking for him. Kayin, however, his dad, it turns out when they were kids, Kayin's dad was killed by Sho. And, eventually, Sho didn't know that the guy they killed had a son, but then he took in Kayin, took him in, trained him, a valuable training partner to Eiji as well. And so Kayin is entering the tournament to figure out who killed his dad to begin with. And, I don't know, the game doesn't do the best explaining, because obviously, with these fighting games back in the day, it was all about the game guides and stuff like that. Even Mortal Kombat was really good about explaining motivations on like the, on the, I don't even know what you call it, the demo screens, where they'd have like the BIOS that you could see and the endings after you beat the games, or like Mortal Kombat 3 and stuff like that. This one does not, it's just all in like the game manual. But, I think at this point you're not supposed to know who actually killed Kayin's dad, and then, we'll see what happens at the end though. I also love the super long dragged out KO animations at times, but the frame rate's all over the place in this. I'll beat someone and all of a sudden it'll speed up real fast. This one's probably one of my least favorite looking arenas. I don't even know where the fuck we are, what we're fighting on. It's just kind of a huge blur. It's just very muddy. But like I said, I don't think there's a single bad song in this game. Sky texture looks good at least. But even the upscaled, textures don't really do anything with that. That was a pretty crazy visual. I wasn't sure if I got hit or not. But Rungo's not too bad, because he's usually pretty slow himself, because he's, the strong brute character. Ellis is actually a huge bitch. Actually, this is my second try going through this. She was actually the first one to beat me here. And it's because of her freaking uppercut attack. But she loves to, it's that. And she can just pull it out of fucking nowhere, even worse than Eiji. And it's very fast. And of course, if I were to try and do my uppercut attack, I get my booty smacked. Speaking of booty smacks, though. But Ellis's whole motivation for entering the tournament is that her family was killed in a car accident. And I don't know, I'm just laughing, chuckling to myself, because it's just crazy the motivations they came up with some of these characters. But yeah, her whole family was killed in a car accident, I guess. And apparently she heard, though, that her dad might be alive still, so she entered the tournament to you know, try and find her dad. And another version of this game, I believe it was for the Dreamcast, it got like a remake. And they added a new character too. I think it was like Cupido or whatever the hell, however you pronounce her name. But you know, they added her to the series, and what was cool was they added cutscenes before the fights for characters, you know, to explain motivations and kind of, you know, just add to the lore of the series. And the cutscenes weren't the best. I think they're really funny. They're kind of on like that Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil kind of level with the voice acting and stuff. But it was just really cool that they did that. So they showed that they had some faith at the very least in the series. But Kayin's arena is really awesome too. The only thing is, it's just, I don't know what the fuck. I guess we were fighting on a building, I would have to assume. But it looks like we're fighting on like some sort of, I don't even know what the hell it is with all these like lights and maybe, I don't know, like some sort of helipad or something like that. Man, this is not good. I gotta, like I said, to conquer this game, I've got to be able to beat every single character without losing a single fight. I can lose a round, but I can't lose the entire fight. Okay, we're getting kind of close. Oh yeah! Like I said, you can run off the edge in this game. That was a close one though too. We just got to be more careful here. It's really cool. You can barely see it, but at the start of the fight, there's like a screen. Like I think we're on like Times Square or something. This is like a screen. There, you can see it. Like you can see that we're actually like we're projected on that screen in the background right now. So that's like a really cool detail of this game. And I don't know, some stages look better than others. Like the lack of like textures on this stage work really well. Although I don't know what the hell is the deal. Like those are supposed to be like spotlights or lights or something like shooting up in the background. They look pretty bad. But other than that, man, I mean, like this is a fantastic looking stage. I said Duke probably has the best stage, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it's this one. But once again, there's another better look at the TV screen. It's just so awesome. Yeah, this is by far my favorite stage, and I'm really getting a good look at it. Just gotta wait for him. He doesn't have too many openings, I feel like. Ooh! Whoa, 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 what the hell? Alright, this might be... If we even like get hit with a block, I think we're dead. But yeah, that was a perfect... Alright, now it's time for the big bad booty daddy Gaia, I think his name is. Which I guess is supposed to be actually really like a girl's goddess's name or something like that. But he's pretty easy. He's probably, it's honestly a little disappointing because he's probably the easiest fighter in the entire game. Other than maybe Duke. Because all it is just wait for your opportunity, you know, he's very slow. Slower than Rungo. But it's just if you get hit by something, then, you know, it does massive damage. And I don't know, I was just talking about how easy this is, and he's actually kicking my ass. So, who knows, maybe, I don't know. I guess I just have underestimated him. But damn, I can't fucking... Oh, Jesus Christ, this is going poorly. But man, I cannot fucking hit him for some reason. Oof. Yeah, how the fuck am I not hitting this dude? Alright, we're gonna have to try and shoot some fire. What? Alright. I really gotta be careful because I don't want to mess up this whole playthrough. Alright, there we go. There's something. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fucking scary when he, you know, dives towards you because you don't know if he's gonna do something. There we go, there we go. And if you're far away, you can just avoid those fireballs, but I like to be safe than sorry. Give them with a little bit of that poke. Man, I love that animation too, where they just snap their fucking spine. Oh man, the background on this stage is crazy though. Definitely makes you dizzy. I don't even know, once again, where the hell you are. It's a really cool stage. I love the song on this one too. It's definitely a very good final boss theme, but whew, this is kind of making me a little dizzy here. All this spinning in the background and dodging. God damn it, this is not going good. This is not going well, folks. Alright. Once again, just gotta wait. Be patient. I don't know, I must have had like a much better strategy back in the day, because I do remember him being easily the easiest fighter in the whole game to fight. It was like pretty much like a sigh of relief when I got to him, but alright, we snapped his spine once again, and good lord, what that background? It's awful. Looks like terrible like living room carpet. And as you can see now, we are indeed fighting Sho, who is the secret final boss of this game. If you play on hard or very hard, and you do not lose a single round, or I mean, you can lose a round, but if you do not lose a single fight, then you can fight him, and this is how you get the true ending for your character in the game. It's not really much, so don't expect like it's literally just a quick line of text, but it is pretty cool nevertheless. But you can lose to him if you do make it to him, and you'll be able to continue the fight. So I got kind of cocky with it and was trying to show off, and I've actually lost twice at this point. Hence why my high score has gone all the way down. I don't have shame, you know, in admitting it. He beat me pretty bad twice already. But no, I'm not trying to deceive you guys if you're wondering like, hey, you know, the high score is different, that's why. And he's not really too difficult, you know, but he just has all of Eiji and Kayin's moves. And his fireball is honestly probably the worst because it leaves him a lot more open. Although I haven't been able to... Ooh! Damn, I thought that wasn't gonna hit me. But I haven't been able to take advantage of his soul fireball yet. It's probably playing... This is on emulator, so it's a lot different than playing on an actual PS1. So that's probably why like the speeds are all over the place and why I haven't been able to capitalize as well as I want. And that is a deadly raise, folks. Ooh! Alright. Oh, damn it. I'm trying to pull off this move. I was so close. I'm gonna pull it off. I've already lost the fight, so it's happening. Ooh, thank God. That just phased through me. But yeah, that is Kayin's desperation move I wanted to show you guys. But that's pretty much it, folks. So thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out next week's episode where we're going to play as Sho in Battle Arena Toshinden. So if you want to check that out, you know, make sure to like and subscribe. You know, check out next week's episode on Fighting Friday. But above all else, please remember to have a nice day.